yet again, and I'm going to be talking about the new Ghostrick cards from. I forgot the name of this set, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, let's get right into this. First off, we have Ghostrick Siren, and it's a level 4 Dark Effect monster with 800 attack and 1500 defense. And it says it cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster. So basically, the clause that almost all Ghostricks have. His first effect reads, if this card is normal or flipped face up, you can send two of your top cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then if there was a Ghostrick card among them, you can apply one of these effects. 1. Add one Ghostrick spell trap from your deck to your hand. Or the second option being to change one effect monster your opponent controls face down defense position. And the second effect reads, once per turn you can change this card to face down defense position, like pretty much every Ghostrick. This card on paper looks good, but is absolute trash. Not only is it a level 4, which doesn't really help this deck all that much, but its search effect is very, very situational. And yes, most Ghostrick players would be playing mostly Ghostrick cards, but it's still a little gamble just so you can search a spell trap, and there are other cards in the deck that can do the same thing. As well, and at best it basically allows you to flip your opponent's monsters face down, but that's if they're flipped face up. And again, there's a lot of other Ghostricks that are capable of doing that job perfectly well. So this card is actually really, really perplexing. Next, we have the Ghostrick Link monster known as Ghostrick Festival, and it's a Link 1 Dark Spellcaster Link effect monster with 0 attack, and its Link arrow points downwards. Its material requires one non-Link Ghostrick monster. You can also use face-down Ghostrick monsters you control as a Link material for this card. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, your Ghostrick monsters can attack directly while there's a Ghostrick card in the field zone. So you have to control a Ghostrick card in the field zone. But most of the time you're going to be playing the field spell that allows you to attack directly, which... The thing about that is you can't do damage to your opponent when that field spell is on the field, so that kind of renders this kind of pointless. And you don't really want to play the other Ghostrick field spells since they're trash. Like the best one is the one that allows you... Before I was so rudely interrupted, the second effect kind of feels a little pointless since one of the field spells... there's 3 field spells in Ghostricks. One, which being the one that everyone plays, allows you to search cards when your opponent declares an attack, and wow, an ambulance, nice. Anyways, one of the field spells allow you to search when your opponent declares a direct attack against you. But the problem with that field spell is you can't do damage to your opponent, so attacking directly is pointless unless you want to just slap a Zeus on top of your Xyz monster. And then the other one basically allows you to flip a monster face down whenever it inflicts battle damage to any player. But that no one plays that card for obvious reasons. And the third one basically already allows you to attack directly, so the second effect kind of feels pointless, in my opinion. Next we have... Oh wait, not second effect. I'm talking about the first effect. Whoops. Second effect is when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you contribute this card. Special summon one Ghostrick monster from your deck in face down defense position. So you can basically fetch any of your Ghostricks from your deck and just set them. So at least that way your opponent will either have to pass turn or attack into that face down monster, thus triggering its flip effect, but at the same time that is still very slow and your opponent can still easily get around that. Almost forgot about that effect, probably due to the constant interruptions. Next we have Ghostrick Shot, and it's basically the obligatory monster reborn that almost every archetype is getting. And its effect reads, special summon one Ghostrick monster from your hand or graveyard, then you can change one face down Ghostrick monster you control to face up attack position. which is pretty nice, I guess, because you can just summon that. I forgot what it's called, Zhangji. Yeah, you can just summon Zhangji and then just set it and then flip it up immediately, thus triggering its effect. Or you can just, set another Ghostrick and then flip another face down Ghostrick you have. Well, the chances of you actually controlling multiple face down Ghostricks are very, very slim, as is, especially in today's modern game. So I wouldn't really count on that. But it's primarily going to be used to actually summon your Zhangji or any of the monsters you want to be immediately flipped. Second effect reads, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one Ghostrick Xyz monster you control. Attach one Ghostrick card from your graveyard to it as material, which can help with the Angel of Mischief, FTK, but again, don't really count on it. Next and lastly, we have Ghostrick or Treat. And its effect reads, if you control a face-up Ghostrick Link monster or field spell, yay, it's very conditional. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent can pay 2,000 life points to make this card's effect become set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. Otherwise, this turn that target cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, it cannot change to face down defense position during the end phase. There's so many things wrong with this card. Not only does it give your opponent the opportunity to negate it, it's not like it would be busted or anything if it didn't really give your opponent that option. And what's worse is this is a hard once per turn, as if this would have been broken if you could actually resolve it multiple times in a turn. Like, Ghostrick Scare is way better than this card. It doesn't negate monster effects, but the fact that your opponent can negate it is really, really dumb. And on top of that, this card has no business being a hard once per turn in the first place. Matter of fact, all these new Ghostrick cards are very perplexing at how bad they are. I'm not angry, I'm just confused. Why? Like, actually, why did they slap all these restrictions on what could have just been a decent card? It's not like it would have been broken or abusable or anything. Especially considering you need to control a Ghostrick Link or a field spell. Now how many people are going to be splashing a Ghostrick engine into their deck just to do that? Like, the only good card out of all of these, I would say, are Ghostrick Shot and the Ghostrick Link monster. Not because of its first effect. Like I mentioned, the first effect is kind of pointless. But the second effect actually is pretty good. And by good, I mean decent. Or at least good compared to all these other Ghostrick cards. At least give them another Ghostrick field spell. One that's better than the three we have. Granted, the one that searches is really good. It's just that it kind of makes this card's first effect really pointless. And don't get me started on Ghostrick Siren. I don't know why they made it a level 4. It should have been like a level 3 or level 1. It's especially a level 1. Like, you could, especially for lore reasons, it's like you just made Siren a fairy monster. And I guess because of that, it's like, well, we gotta keep up the continuity, so let's make it a level 4. Like, I'm a little annoyed and perplexed. I'm not mad, but just why, Konami? Why? Anyways, tell me what you guys think about the new Ghostrick support, and it's been me, your boy Blue Guy, and I'm out.